BeoLab 50s are amazing speakers with very advanced features, sophisticated DSP processing and a lot of settings. But all of this also means that they're quite sensitive to how they're set up and whether or not they have the latest software. We often see that a lot of BeoLab 50s do not have the latest software or have not been calibrated to the room they're in. So the intention with this video is to show the technical side of the first time setup to ensure that our customer can get the most out of their speakers. After the unpacking, the first thing you want to do is to connect the speakers. And here is an important thing to remember, and that's the DPL cable. Let's start with the wired powering setup. As you can see on the image, both the powering cable from the TV or audio system and the network connection cable go to the master speaker. And from the master to the slave, we have a DPL cable, which is a Cat7 Ethernet cable. This cable is very important for the functionality. The DPL cable takes care of communication between the speakers, room correction, directivity settings, software updates, and of course the sound signal. Another setup option is WiSA or wireless power link. Here the connection from the source is of course wireless, but in order to have software updates and the ability to edit room calibrations, you still need the DPL cable between the speakers at all times. And the master needs to be connected to either LAN or Wi-Fi. If you leave out the DPL cable, you lose air control and none of the speakers will be updated unless you do it manually with a USB drive. The same goes for third-party setups. Always remember the DPL cable and a network connection. Before we move on, let me just explain. It's very important that you do not connect any third-party network products to the master and slave DPL ports, as this will interfere with the speaker performance. Also, the DPL cable needs to be a direct connection between the two speakers. Do not connect through a switch. After the speakers have been connected, theoretically you can update the speakers via the internet. However, for the first time setup, I actually recommend that you update the software via USB. The reason for this is that the speakers do not always arrive with the same software version loaded in both the master and slave speaker. Let me give you an example. If the master speaker has the latest software, but the slave has an older version, the master will not update the slave. This is because only the master is connected to the portal, and if it sees that it has the latest version, it will not initiate an update. So the master only looks at itself and simply assumes that the slave also has the same software version, even if it doesn't. The VPL LED and lens LED will flash green most of the time while updating, and the speaker will make some restarts with the lens moving up and down. When doing this, the LEDs will not flash green. When the speaker seems to be in standby with the lens down for a few minutes and the VPL LED is not flashing green on the back, the update has finished. You can now remove the USB drives. If you want to be completely sure that all modules inside the speakers are updated, you can insert the USBs in your PC and read out the files beolab50info.txt. In this file, all the software versions for each module will be listed. And now it's possible to cross-check version numbers with the article you can see here. After a successful software update of the new speakers, I recommend doing a factory reset of both the master and slave. This is done by pressing and holding both buttons on the back of the speaker for about 10 seconds. The speaker will make a small click sound. After the speakers finish booting, make a mains reset. Disconnect the power, wait for 60 seconds, and then reconnect the power cable. Once the speakers are booted up again, we are ready for the initial setup. If you're using a wired network connection, you can jump directly into the Bang & Olufsen app and add the speakers. If you want to use a wireless internet connection, you will have to set this up. You should see the network LED flashing orange on the back of the master speaker. This indicates that the speaker is in hotspot mode. Go to the Wi-Fi settings on your phone or PC and connect to the network called BeoLab50 and then the serial number. Once connected, go to this IP address in your browser, and now you can connect to the customer's Wi-Fi network and afterwards add the speakers in the app. If everything is working in terms of app control and sound, you can now continue with the room calibration and general preset settings. This procedure is well covered by Jeff Martin in another video, which you can find the link to in the description below. If you still experience problems after these steps, it might be worth trying with another DPL cable. Make sure that it actually is a network cable that you're using and not a reused powerlink cable. We have seen cases where powerlink cables with RJ45 blocks have been mistaken for a Cat7 network cable, but this will not work. If you change the cable, remember that when the DPL cable is removed and reconnected, you will need to reboot both speakers. Disconnect the power, wait for 60 seconds, and then reconnect the power cable. This procedure also applies if the network cable is reconnected. If your customer has bought more than one set of BeoLab50s that need to be on the same network, there is also a best practice. Follow up the setup procedure we've been through in this video on one pair of the speakers at a time. Software update, reset and power cycle on each speaker. When that is done, unplug the speakers you just set up and repeat the process for the next pair. When this pair is updated, reset and power cycled, you can connect all 4 speakers. If problems still persist, take notice of the 3 LEDs on each speaker. You have 1 LED in the lens and 2 on the back of the speaker. They can have valuable information for product support in helping you find the error. Also remember that it's possible to connect each speaker using the service tool, where you can find relevant information to send to product support. All of this may sound like a very complex procedure, in particular when doing it the first time. But your time is well spent, because this is a good way to ensure that old software does not interfere with the functionality of the speakers. Also note that most of this can be done even before going to the customer's home. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.